A Day in the Life of an Ambulance Driver, the Good, the Bad, and the Stupid, by Adam L. Weddle, narrated by Reilly. Introduction. A Day in the Life of an Ambulance Driver was born from the years that I have worked as an EMT and a paramedic. Over those many years, I have been repeatedly asked to tell stories about my experiences. There have been so many experiences and stories over the years that it is always difficult for me to decide which one to tell when someone asks. I have been asked which experience was the saddest, the funniest, or the hardest. So I have tried to include a variety of stories within the pages of this book. They have all been told in the same way that I would tell them if I were telling it to you face to face. In my youth, I started keeping journals of life experiences. Some of those memories that I wanted to return to later in life just happened to be my experiences as an EMT. It has been those journals that have helped me to develop these experiences in such sharp detail. Most of these stories are directly from my personal experiences. However, there is one that is obviously not mine, but it was instrumental in my decision to go into this line of work. That story has been relayed as closely to the way she told it to me as best as I could recall. Also, there are a couple of others that I have included as though they were mine, but were in fact experiences that were told to me in great detail by close friends. They were kept in the same tone as the rest to help mask the identity of those involved. Finally, I have intentionally left out some of the details, such as specific cities, race, nationality, etc., in an attempt to help protect the identities of the patients that I have had the pleasure to treat. If you had been in the position of some of my patients, I am sure you would not want your identity exposed either. I dearly hope that you enjoy reading these stories as much as I have enjoyed writing them. Fleas, fleas, fleas. This is the story told to me by a friend when I was in high school, which made me want to become an EMT. She was one of my neighbors at the time and had been an EMT for several years before she got married. There are going to be many of you that will scratch your head and ask why on earth this story would pique my interest in this kind of work. Stick with me until the end, and I will explain it all to you. It was a nice summer day, and we were sitting on the porch talking. It was me, my mom, and sister, and Mary. She occasionally would talk about some of the weird things that went on while she was an EMT. At the time, I was going into my senior year of high school and had no idea what I wanted to do for a career anymore. For as long as I could remember, I had always wanted to be an architect, but after going through a couple of drafting classes, that just no longer interested me. Mary started talking about a day when she and her partner were dispatched to pick up a patient to take to hospice care. For those that are not familiar, hospice is for people that are terminally ill and want to only receive comfort care instead of the all-out life-saving treatments. She went on to explain how the house was in a part of town that no one went into after dark. The houses were not in the best-kept conditions, and very few, if any, had air conditioning. Most of them were lucky if they could afford a fan to stir the air. When they arrived at the home, they were greeted by the patient's family. It was one of the patient's children that had chosen to take care of their father in his final years. They were told that he was in a bedroom on the first floor of the house. Fortunately, there were only 2 steps going up to the porch. She went on to describe as being swelteringly hot and smelled of ammonia from the uncleaned cat litter boxes that were in several places in the house. Sadly, this is not an unfamiliar situation for those that have worked in EMS for very long. She told us that when they walked into the bedroom, they found their patient lying on a few blankets on the floor. He was definitely not in very good health and had not been very well taken care of. The added smell of sweat and urine made it all the more unbearable. So they looked at each other, and knowing each other as well as partners tend to,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?